I'm so sorry, my best friends in the whole world, the YouTube subscribers. It's been 12 days since my last Dubstep 101 tutorial. I apologize profusely and sincerely. Today we're gonna do intros, including chords and melody writing. That's what the plan is for today. So I don't know how well it's gonna go, but we're gonna do that through simply using like a synth lead. We're gonna do sound design for a synth lead and that kind of thing. And we're gonna also do vocal chops, and then we'll figure out some way of combining the two and all of the layers to make an intro basically today. Because what we've done so far, to recap in this series, we've made this basic drop here. Which you can extrapolate and may build more onto, and that is the basic sort of drop thing. I mean, in an actual track, this would be 4 times as long, but we're not going to get there today. So I wanted to get onto a part that is more crucial, I think. So we're just going to move this over to about the 1 minute mark, because that is typically where the drop starts, or a little bit later than 1 minute in a typical dubstep song. Yeah, right here it works. That works. 57 seconds works. And I'm just going to open up some tracks we haven't used yet. And we're going to create some chords here. We're in F minor, so I'm just going to open up Serum right here, and we're going to make a supersaw, simple kind of thing. We're going to go for 8 voices, sure. And we're going to do an octave up in the second oscillator. We're going to bring the voices down to save on CPU. So we're just going to write a simple chord progression here. We're going to assign this to new instrument track here. And that is in the playlist where we're going to start with the tonic chord. And we're going to do some basic music theory. Sorry if that's too annoying. So in a minor chord, the first you want to have, for a minor triad, you want the first scale degree, the third scale degree, and the fifth scale degree of a minor chord, or 2 spaces between and then 3 spaces between. And then I'm just doubling the F again up the octave. I'm just extending it out to a bar, and then I'm going to make, and then any chord basically can work for this. Any chords combination can work for this that are in the key. We're going to try to keep it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 chords. Those are the chords we're going to try to stick with. We're going to keep it fairly simple. My voice leading skills are not the greatest when it comes to music theory. So C sharp, or in this case it would actually be a D flat. That works. I'm just gonna bring this this second C sharp up. Or, yeah, I'm just gonna not have the one in the bottom, and I'm gonna double maybe the Yeah, I'll double the G sharp here. No, that's bad. E, double the E. We're gonna do a 2 chord. So this is technically a minor 7 flat 5 of or you could consider it yeah, this is technically a minor 7 flat 5 chord. Because it has if it was just a regular 2. But now it's which is a 2 diminished with the 7th on top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1 in first inversion, and then I'm going to do 4. That's B flat. And then we're going to go back to 1. You know, I'm going to put the root back in this chord here. Yeah, that works better with the root in it, in my opinion. And then I'm going to go for a 3. The 3 is supposed to be major, I believe. No. No, I'm not doing a 3. Nope. Maybe a 6. Add the F here. Maybe. I don't like that. Maybe flat 2. And then I have to bring this one up. And I'm going to double one of these guys. And then I'm going to do 5 because, yeah. Technically, in classical harmony, you want to avoid using the flat 2 as a root note for a chord, so you invert it so it's higher up, so it's not as weird. But I think it actually works here. I'm just going to bring add the G down here. Yeah, I think this actually works. So we've got 8 bars here, and I'm just going to add a sort of little saw bass with noise distortion underneath it. So, beep. Yeah, that's good. That's exactly it. Noise oscillator. Then so if you distort a saw with noise, you get interesting resonant basses. So I'm just going to double the root notes here. I'm going to assign him an instrument track. I'm going to add more distortion on it. Send it to the sidechain. I'm gonna send the supersaw to the sidechain too. And I'm gonna add an additional sub underneath this bass because it's just weird and muddy. So I'm just gonna solo it and get the right frequency because every bass is different. Order steep. And I'm just gonna add the basic sub that we made in the previous couple episodes here. Same pattern, just I'm gonna put it down to octave 3 on here. Because as we've discussed, because it's transposing 2 octaves down. Another thing I like to do for chords, if I'm not going with a super saw, is I will take a simple saw wave, which this is now, and I will create an envelope that is sort of like this, and I'll just link it to the cutoff of And another thing I like to do is I like to go into the chord pattern once I've programmed it, and I like to do a chop it. This isn't like a requirement or anything, but eighth notes is usually good for this. Or yeah, that's see, there we go. That's already something quite nice. Okay, so we're just gonna bring in these guys here. I'm gonna split it by channel because I've been doing that for this whole thing. So this guy, and then this guy, and then this guy. That's a simple. The way I write like chord progressions is very like classical sounding. I don't know. Even if I have like parallel fifths sometimes and do a little bit unconventional things, usually I stick to what I know sounds good. And a lot of the time it ends up being like medieval, old school sounding chord progressions. So there's a couple of things you can do, is you can just leave the chords here and write like vocal chops over top, which is actually easier. But we're going to write a melody. We're going to design a simple lead. My go-to lead is just go into the effect out of phaser. Put one channel on a saw, and then put another on a square. Low pass. Set it to mono. Put portamento on. And then you can take LFO1 and then add it to fine tuning for vibrato. Make sure you do it on both oscillators though, or it'll sound weird. Turn like both oscillators you're using for a lead. I'm just gonna turn off BPM and So you can improvise over top. What I usually do is I write it in the same channel, so I have the ghost notes. And then I follow the chords and then use passing tones. Simple strategy. A simple melody writing strategy is pick the note in the chord that you want to be accentuated by your melody line and then like outline it that way and then put the passing notes inside your melody. It's a simple thing. FL Studio makes it easy. Uh, and then you got, and then you can just do steps within the scale, and then that makes it easier. You don't have to do every like chord tone, but try to keep it within the melodic, harmonic, or natural minor scale. And then try to get something that is sort of like, I don't know, with this kind of lead I want spooky. Simple. This is a place where having a semitone dissonance can actually be effective because it like resolves to the next to the root note. But this is literally a tritone here, but it's and a semitone can also work here. See, this is literally a semitone underneath the root of the chord. But because of the way the filter is, the phase cancellation isn't making it too harsh, and you get an interesting sort of feeling here. And I'm hearing G sharp here and not C. Yeah, that's cool. I think that's actually neat. It sounds like aliens or something, or ghosts. Like a sci-fi movie. It's almost theremin-like. I think that's actually really cool. So, yeah. I'm just gonna, again, split by channel, beep bop, and move this guy. I'm gonna create an instrument track for this one, and boink. For melodies like this, I like to do an 8-bar melody that repeats but changes after the second thing. So it's you've got basically theme A and then theme B, but theme B is based on theme A and then has a different like chord resolution. But also just repeating it can work as long as you aren't repeating it more than once. So I can just go, but you have to introduce a new element, otherwise it'll get stale. So for example here, we can bring in the drums for the second repeat here, and I'm just going to do that. Every downbeat is a kick. And bring in the hi-hats. Bing, 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 bing. And we can bring in, do we bring in noise yet? No, okay. We'll have to bring in uplifters and noise and such. But keep the same noise and crash cymbals. You know, I'm going to export this so it's easier to hear. I'm just going to export so it's easier to hear like what actually it is sounding like. But because the recording makes everything awful, because my computer is a pain in the ass, it's terrible. Well, that's an easy way to do melody writing, is you start with chords and then build your melody off of the chords and use the rest of the scale to fill it in, basically. And just make sure, if you want to have it feel like a resolving melody, and on end your pattern that moves on to the next part on either the second of the scale or the seventh or the fifth, but the part of the chord that actually causes the part of the chord that actually causes the resolution feeling is the 2 and the 7 resolving to the 1. The part of the 5 chord that makes that resolution feeling happen that way. And so you want to end your melody on either the 2 or the 7, so that when you get to the next bar, it'll feel like it's tonically resolved, or feel like it's not tonically resolved, or you can resolve to the tonic within a pattern. But I think that's less interesting. It's a basic songwriting tactic, but it's, you know, it's cool. What note did I finish on here? See, my melody actually finishes on the 5th here. 7th. I actually used all of them. 7, 7, 3, 5 in this last bar. You could just do that too, it would work. Or you could also do... You could also use G here. Seventh, 5th, 2nd also works for the same purpose. So we really need to add white noise because that is a pain in the butt. Either you can make your own with like 3x oscillator, but I'm going to bring it in from a sample pack because I am lazy. And I always use the sample pack for my white noise. And I want one that doesn't particularly sound like a crash cymbal because we already have a crash cymbal. This one's good. And I like this sample a lot. I use it all the time, the sample pack. Hold on, I'm gonna actually drag it onto the channel so it's its own channel. Sidechain, reverb, delay. Bring the volume down. Don't filter it because then it stops being white noise. It doesn't have the same Shazam, but if you're gonna filter it, high pass it. But I would like avoid it. You're sidechaining it anyways. Maybe do a 100 hertz cut if it's too muddy in the bass, but this is fine. And also upwards white noise as well. And we're at 150. This one here is on the 8th notes, which is also fine. I'm just gonna beep, put it there. Audio track. Copy these settings. Sidechain, reverb, and delay. More reverb. The lead needs to have reverb on it, and it doesn't, which is bothersome. Sidechain, reverb, a lot of reverb. And I think generally the lead needs to be louder. I'm going to put OTT on it. Yeah, there we go. That should solve it. My heater is on, which is why there's background noise. And having a delay and a reverb with a long tail can make the cutoff seem sort of like it's a feel like you're waiting for something to happen. So in this case, you could actually leave an empty bar before you start your build up here. Build ups are going to be the next video, by the way. So next thing, I want to talk about vocal chopping because it's easy and there's so many like secrets you can use to do it. This might destroy my CPU because I'm going to use an auto-tune plugin to clean it up, but you don't have to do it that way. You don't have to use auto-tune. But I'm just going to go on Splice and grab some vocal sample and just cut it up. And it doesn't matter what vocal, like any vocal works. Let's see what I have for vocal. I have vocals somewhere. I do vocal chopping all the time as a sort of either as the main melody or as a background effect. Cody's brothers, my guys, know that No, that's from Dubstep song .wav, which is a great song, by the way. You should listen to it. Beautiful dreamer. Perfect. Female vocals work best for this, but male vocals are fine. So I'm just going to open up Fruity Slicer because it's quick and easy for this. It's way better in Ableton, this process. So I'm just going to drag this sample right over. And then there we go. That's it. That's the whole process. So I'm just going to, in Fruity Slicer, there's a bunch of options for auto cutting. Ableton will just do it automatically. If you load it into a simpler, there's a slice mode in the simpler. So I'm just going to do medium auto slicing. I'm going to pitch shift it up a semitone. Actually, down 2 semitones. I don't know what I was thinking. And then I'm going to pitch shift the channel up an octave. And I'm going to time stretch it. Less time stretch. I'm going to assign this its own track. Assign instrument track like that. And I'm going to delete this out of here. And I'm going to bring in auto-tune on this guy. Set it on the keyboard. And you can just pitch shift the entire sample over so that it fits in your song. If you have the auto-tune set up, it'll just lock to the notes of your key, which is super convenient. If you're doing this as like a background element, it's an idea you can use is just sort of just layer it in parts of the melody that are like boring. it has a background element, you want it to be quieter, have a shit ton of reverb on it. And then split it by channel. That lead's too loud now. And of course, you can always program an actual melody with the vocal chops too. Like, something like that. It's pretty easy to put together once you have your chops already made and tuned to your key, so it'll just like always work. And an easy thing to do is just have like a background simple pattern too. I'm gonna get rid of all this because I actually hate it. So I'm just gonna do I'm actually gonna use what I just made. Simple pattern like that works. And I'm gonna only have it play during this second half to create more variation between the first half and the second half of the intro. And that's already kind of pretty cool. Obviously, you mess with the pitches and get the chop you want to use, but that's intros. So hope you liked this. We're gonna do like the build into the intro and build ups to the drop in the next video. Sorry it took so long. Next one will probably be in like 3 weeks. So I don't know. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.